Brazilian stand with Laura from CEBDS and also Gerard Ostheimer, who is below 50 Senior Advisor. And it's really important today. We've come together with the regional hub from Brazil, from CEBDS, and I'm going to ask Jerry first of all to talk about what's been happening here, what's been really valuable, and the role that below 50 have been doing.
Right. So below 50 was created to help companies decarbonize transport. So below 50 came into existence after the Paris Agreement. So 2 years ago, we had the Paris Agreement, a lot of high-level momentum around reducing emissions. But there was a big gap. In Paris in 2015, nobody was talking about transport. Transport was just not on the agenda. And so it's been very interesting here at COP23 here in Bonn, Germany, 2 years later, where lots of different activities are recognizing the challenge of decarbonizing not just personal transport and cars, but how we move people, goods, shipping, aviation, trucking. How do we do that? And so we have this situation here where, and I wish we could pan around and just look at all the excited people working on their piece of the puzzle. But we're all in Germany, right? Where this is high-level discussion. How do we take what's happening here and realize genuine change on the ground? So below 50, based out of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, based in Geneva, Switzerland, we realize we're not going to change the world from Geneva. Yep. We need to go to the world to change the world. And so we're very lucky to have our Australian partner, and then alphabetically our Brazilian partner. And we're going to be going to other locations in the world, but I'd be really interesting to hear from you what is going to happen in Australia, because obviously it's a different legal system, it's a different taxation system, it's different technologies, it's different feedstocks. It's really interesting to think about how you take this campaign, this global campaign, and translate it to the specifics in Australia. So what's happening? What's going to happen in Australia?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. And it's a key part and focus about what QRFA are doing to pull across that global model, but reshaping that and changing that to work really dynamically in Queensland, given our context, our feedstock, our technologies, and also that we are quite a young infant industry as well. So Jerry, it is quite true with all of that. QRFA, who are now have got the Below 50 Australia hub, have taken that and shaped out that it's really valuable and important. While we do have our biofuel producers and there's a supply value chain happening there, it's really important that we have policy, but we also need to ensure that we pull across the demand side, because as you spoke earlier in your Brazilian chat before, that it's all well and good, but it's also important that we have another part that pulls across. And if we've got our large companies, our aviation, our construction, got our agricultural sector who are doing the stamp to say we are going to have the uptake and make some commitment. You have a lot of high energy intense sectors. We do indeed, especially within the mining. It's going to be hard to decarbonize those. So what? Obviously Queensland is doing a lot domestically. What help could you use to decarbonize? Is it finance? Is it information? I mean, what are the kinds of things that would help you accelerate change in Queensland? Firstly, I think it's really valuable to have the injection from the global level, which helps with accountability, but it also helps to showcase examples that are being done overseas where the demand have really pushed and driven forward the uptake of those fuels. Firstly, that. Also being able to have the resources and the push and power play that you can have on that global level. We can use through the World Business Council, all of the companies who are associated with that downstream can assist us with that dialogue, education, and showcasing those opportunities where large companies have stepped it up and said, you know what, we're going to vouch for by 2020, 2018, we're going to make a commitment to 2%, 5%, 10% renewable fuels as a part of our fuel mix within our fleet, our vehicles, mining equipment, all of that side of things. So having below 50, World Business Council for Sustainable Development filtered down and assists with industry associations like QRFA to really nudge those big companies and re-educate is a big part.
Laura, Albuquerque has joined us from Brazil, from our host. We respect the fact that Laura is not the low carbon fuel expert for her agency.
Yes, okay.
But Laura is leading on climate. So maybe you could tell us who you work with and who are some of the companies in Brazil that are really interested in leading the way to a low carbon future.
Yeah, so in January, if I could say that I have like two very nice companies beside me that helped me with all the agenda with the companies, I would talk more about the renewable on the electricity sector.
Sure.
So I would take maybe Vestas,
okay.
and Schneider.
Okay.
They are like my two hands
Okay.
With all the other companies. So they're the ones who help me pushing for the carbon pricing agenda, also pushing for the renewables agenda, especially on the electric sector, but are the ones that also push for the biofuels agenda. We also have some companies in the transport sector, like the Ticket Plug. It's the Head group. They are together with our logistic chamber, supporting the biofuels and also below 50. We have a long history with biofuels, but we do believe that as much more partnerships that we have, if we get together with the Sugarcane Association, with the Biodiesel Association, we can join efforts to give this message that you have just been telling us about.
Yeah.
So although we have a very country that was born with the bio, all the bio, everything that we have, we do need to keep pushing the agenda forward and all the messages that are important.
Yeah.
So you think that in Brazil it might even be possible to say, get the wind folks and get the electricity folks working together with the bio folks to produce a common solution?
Yeah, of course. We believe that there is no solution that fits all.
Right.
So that's one of the things that we have to recognize in our hubs, in our regions. Right. So sometimes we need the solution that for a time we need major force on biofuels, and then we need to equilibrate and make a very good mix with the electricity renewables. So we believe that mixing up everything and finding the best equilibrium is the way that we can make the best of all the renewable sources that we have as fuels or as electricity and so on.
Perfect. And I think there's a final point there, Laura, that we could probably cap up on is the importance and value. We don't have the below 50 North America representative here, Stephanie Batchelor from Bio, but now that we've got 3 really valuable regional hubs, there's that amazing opportunity now that we have to connect and share and educate and really understand what frameworks are working in that country, and is there anything that we can bring across to the context of Australia from Brazil model, what would work within our country, and what processes have gone on with the engagement from corporate companies to the industry associations, all the way through to some of those producers, and then also on the demand side, some of those companies. So I value and look forward to the opportunities that we have as an industry association now to be connected quite strongly with Brazil and North America and all of the other countries that will come a long time, which I'm sure they're not far from moving forward, Jerry.
They're all moving.
And
Europe, China,
also,
Africa, big opportunities.
There we go. And that's a network opportunity that we have, and I guess it just highlights the importance of why industry bodies should do this process. So thank you again, Jerry, for taking the lead and being an amazing person and pillar for us. And
thank you for Laura.
Thank you,
Laura,
thank you.
as well.
Thank you. I hope I have enjoyed and that the messages are given. I believe through dialogue we've stronger the partnership. So
Fantastic.
thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.